Transgenderism is a topic that I'm still new to. I was searching YouTube videos a few weeks ago when I saw a related video about a transgendered child. I thought about how I had never heard of transgender children, but knew that transgendered people didn't decide as adults that they were given the wrong gender. Since I have watched several documentaries about transgenderism and also had the opportunity to video interview a female to male transgender for a class project, I know how it can be based on the stories I have heard. People are opening up to transgendered people, but some feel a deep sensation that those who are just need to go to therapy. They don't fit in with the world, it's just a stage, or something in their brain that can be changed, and their thoughts about becoming the opposite gender would change. The truth of the matter is, the age for gender reassignment surgery laws is based on a system of legality. To receive hormonal therapy and sex reassignment surgery is in most cases at the age of 18 or older in the United States. The person whom I interviewed will remain nameless for his privacy. When he was in kindergarten, being around other children his age made him uncomfortable in his own body because he wanted to look like the boys in the class, not the girls. By age 6, he cut his hair to look like a boy and began living life like a tomboy. By age 10, his body began growing into a woman's body, something he didn't want. He became extremely depressed and extremely uncomfortable with his changing woman body. It wasn't long before high school when he learned what transgenderism meant and told his parents that he thought he was transgender. After learning the terminology, he began seeking out therapy and gender specialists to receive the necessary consent from 3 specialists to proceed with a double mastectomy at age 17. It took 3 years of therapy and specialists to continue with a procedure that was a conscious decision in his own brain. They call it gender dysphoria. It's where your body is one gender, but your brain doesn't register your body to be it. Every transgendered person was born with these qualities. There has not been even one case where someone decided in adulthood of their obvious gender placement. My friend made this comment a few days ago. That's pretty young. I hope he feels no regrets. When they are out in the real world, in school with other people, they realize who they really are meant to be. There are no mistakes. You cannot reverse thoughts put into your brain through simple counseling. I think it's bullshit that people say the wrong thoughts are in someone's brain. Most are born the right way. A boy body with a boy brain, a girl body with a girl brain, but transgendered people are not created with the right body and brain combination. With surgery just made possible in the past few decades, those who have this combination can receive surgery to have a future where they can, if they feel so, get surgery to match everything that represents their lifestyle and brain. While I have thoughts gracefully expressed by the preceding paragraphs, most of my information comes from the story that I have heard from a first-handed transgendered person, and some of it from the documentaries and articles I have read on transgenderism. When a child discovers that they were put in the wrong body, there's nothing they can possibly do to change that until they are at the end of their high school career. That child will be forced to go through puberty twice. They will be in a mature body of a gender that they physically and mentally cannot be in, and will be able to finally do something about it at the age of 18. Think it's just a stage now? It's not a stage. It is everything that they are and will follow them for their entire lives. There's just one question that a lot of people are still stuck with. Why? This is actually an earlier release of my first book that I published on Amazon in 2020, Paper Gown. And this is an essay that I wrote just weeks after meeting my first transgender person, my first trans friend. That would have been in March or April 2014, so just about 12 years ago now. I was still very much in the closet at that point and still had a year left on my clock until I did come out. So the way I'm explaining things in this is as close as you can get to the first ideas that I had about being trans. I started out as a super ally, super for gay marriage, super for trans people. And this was a written essay that I had written for my intro to art history class when I was a freshman in college. And I'm realizing now that this is actually really, really badly written. But because I believe that it's written so badly, it gives you the raw emotions of someone who is just coming to terms, who just started this process. So it's more childlike and more naive in its flavor. I feel like this essay or piece of writing was very detrimental to my own coming out, because I feel like I kind of maybe predicted it. And I'm recognizing that a lot of people who are trans started out being like a super ally and not sure why that was. And I can remember now having this long hair in high school, 2009 to 2013, that's when I was in high school, and feeling like I was different than the guys who had long hair. I didn't know why, but I definitely flinched around scissors and thought of people threatening to cut my hair or wanting to pay me to cut my hair. Of course, my own family was like, you need to cut this, it looks horrible, your bangs look horrible, I don't like it, you look like a girl. All that insanely horrible rhetoric. And when they finally convinced me to cut my hair, I actually buzzed it all off. I was going to be going to school in downtown Chicago, the Art Institute of Chicago, SAIC is what they called it, SAIC. And I felt extremely uncomfortable with putting my hair back because I felt like having shorter hair would be much more safe, in my opinion, because I wouldn't have to pull it back. But I lost so much in the process of actually cutting my hair. I essentially lost a lot of things about me, and it was the spring after August, so August to March, April, May in there, that I began coming out of my shell a little bit. That summer I call the summer of my egg, or the summer of my confusion, or so many things. So many things I was trying to kind of figure out that summer, 2014. And I guess I should have looked more into why this essay or attempt of an essay was so important to me and why I felt so drawn to things like this. And you know, a year later, I'm looking back at this essay. I don't have the original copy. It was originally on paper that I gave to the professor. I cannot find it anywhere in my files. You know, it's been 12 years. It's been a while. But I did have a lot of the drawings that I made. I didn't go to school for drawing. Went to school for video. You know, this was supposed to be a thing for me at some point. Then I kind of ended up stopped doing it, and then coming back, and then stopping it again, and then taking like 2 or 3 years between YouTube and September this last year before I started up again. Worst decision I ever made to stop making videos. I tell you, worst mistake I ever made. I do also feel that this is very dated. The word transgenderism is not a word. When I was looking back at this piece of writing that I wrote when I was a freshman in college, 2014, I found the original file on my Google Drive, and every single mention of transgenderism, that term, showed up red. I suppose it could mean the study of being transgender, but it's more of a whistleblow or something of the sorts, kind of like the Negro problem or the Indian problem, like the problem with transgender people, kind of more like a control thing. Being trans or trans people is the official term. Transgendered. It doesn't even flow off the lips anymore. It was so odd hearing me actually say that word so many times in an essay for a word that actually doesn't even exist. Why? Oh, you were so... I was so freaking... I missed all the flags every single time because I was completely breaking down inside